If you've been on antibiotics recently, you may have just been wondering how to restore gut health after antibiotics. If that's you, then you are in the right place. In today's video, not only am I going to be answering that question, but I'm going to be sharing a proven strategy of how to boost your immune system so you won't get super sick again. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Shockley, Doctor of Cause, chiropractic, board certified in sports medicine, specialized in clinical nutrition. In this video, I will be sharing with you the hidden ingredient that will keep you from being able to repair your gut no matter how hard you try. And guess what? The food industry has put this ingredient in foods you would never even expect it to be in. Next, I'll be sharing my 3 go-to supplements that will put your whole healing process on fast forward and have your gut feeling happier and healthier in no time. And finally, I will be sharing with you my proven strategy for boosting your immune system so you won't ever get super sick again. Let's dive right on in. So what is that hidden ingredient that the food industry has put in all kinds of foods that you would never even expect it to be in that is going to keep you from being able to repair your gut? It's the dreaded S word, sugar. Yep, that's right. It's sugar, guys. Sugar is everywhere. One of the challenges I have for you is to look at some of the products that you have at home, look at the nutrition facts, and then also look at the ingredients. Start looking to see how many grams of sugars your food contains, and in that ingredients, look for different types of sugars that they've added, whether it is high fructose corn syrup or it's cane sugar, or even organic cane sugar, artificial sugars, or sweeteners known as like sucralose, xylitol, erythritol, sorbitol, splenda, all of those. Start looking to see where all you find those. You'll also detect sugars with honey and maple syrup that different products put in it. Now, our body treats sugars a little bit differently, but the point is they're all still sweeteners. They're all still sugars, and ultimately sugar is the best way to cause inflammation in the system. And when we say inflammation in the system, sugar is the best way to wreak havoc on the gut. Your gut is only a cell layer thick. One cell layer, that's all that protects us from what we're putting in our system to being actually absorbed and used by our body into the bloodstream. Okay? That's not very thick, and it's a vulnerable system. It can be super tough and mighty, but that's only if we're putting into it what builds it up, not what stresses it out. And of all the substances that there are known to man, sugar is the worst thing for having a healthy gut. It purely inflames the whole entire gut lining. So I know that's not exactly the easy pill to swallow because many of us are seemingly addicted to sugar. And guess what? You're not alone because sugar is the most addictive substance known to man. It's actually 8 times more addictive than cocaine is. And your body treats it just like it does cocaine or any other, illegal drugs that are out there. Meaning, when you consume sugar, it actually stimulates the area in the brain, the pleasure center, the same way that cocaine actually would. So if you've tried to get off of sugar and you haven't been successful, it's not really your fault. It's because it's legitimately an addiction and the body treats it just like a drug. With that in mind, I'm encouraging you with all the might that you have to remove sugar from your life. Everything about your health, not just your gut, but everything about your health will improve as you do that. And here's the thing when it comes to cutting sugar out of your world. The first few days are going to be the toughest, okay? Depending on how much sugar you consume, you may be experiencing withdrawal symptoms. And sometimes they're not really exciting. You can have irritability. You can feel like you have the flu. You can not sleep very well at night, have mood dysregulation, feel depressed, go through all these things like somebody who's coming off of cocaine could, okay? You may even spike a fever during all of this. And no, it doesn't mean you're sick. Your body's just trying to come off of sugar. I promise you, if you can stick it out those first few days, it gets better and better and more easy with each new day that comes. And ultimately, you will start feeling better. You'll start having more mental clarity. You'll start feeling better, having more energy, being able to focus and concentrate. All these things that are not seemingly related to gut health, you'll start experiencing less aches and pains. And of course, less digestive types of problems. So that is the biggest recommendation I have for you. If you take nothing else away from today's video, start working on reducing your sugars and creating awareness of where all you're being exposed. Because believe it or not, there's different meats at the grocery stores that have sugar put in them. Last I checked, we didn't really need sugar in meat. And another tip for you, anything that's low fat or no fat has far more sugar in it than the full fat containing version. Go for the full fat version. Those fats aren't really bad for you. Okay? Sugars are like the worst thing ever. My son knows that I refer to sugar as like the white devil because there's nothing good that comes from it. So cut those out and that will be super helpful. Now I'm curious, did you have any idea that sugar could be found in pretty much anything and everything that we are consuming? Or more so that it's so devastating on the gut health? I would love to know your responses. So just go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on sugar. If you've tried to cut it out, if this is devastating news, or if this makes sense and you've heard it before and you just had it reinforced. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, there are an abundant amount of choices when it comes to supplements for improving gut health. How in the world do you know which one to pick? Well, I have a few of my favorites, so I'm going to share those with you. These work really well for soothing the gut, normalizing function, reducing the inflammation, kind of restoring that microbiome, helping you be able to digest and actually absorb the food or the nutrients from the food that you're putting into the system. So the first one is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is something that comes in a powdered form. It doesn't have any taste. You mix it into some water and have just a little bit before you get going in the day. It has a very soothing effect to the gut and again starts normalizing some of its function. The second one that I would recommend would be digestive enzymes. Now here's the thing about digestive enzymes. This is not something I would normally have somebody take for a long period of time. Your body produces its own enzymes. So if you stay on digestive enzymes long term, your body's going to realize like, hey, you're taking these, I don't need to produce them. And our body's always looking at ways to preserve energy or to use it somewhere else. So if you take something your body produces, you run the risk long term if you stay on it for starting to shut down your body's production of that particular substance. So this is only because you've been on antibiotics recently and everything about the gut gets thrown way off kilter. I want you to utilize them sparingly. Okay, maybe use them for a month or two and then come back off of them. Just enough to get like shock treatment and get the body going again. If you're not digesting your food, everything is difficult from there to try to absorb the nutrients you need to repair your gut as well. So digestive enzymes, a broad type of an enzyme, not just like a lipase for fat or an amylase for starches. You want a complete type of an enzyme that has all of the different enzymes your body needs in order to properly digest your foods. And you should have one of those with each meal that you are consuming, like each larger meal. Don't necessarily have to have them with snacks unless you have such severe gut symptoms. That might be something that's really helpful. In the ideal world, take them right before you're gonna end up eating. They say at most like a half hour before. But I have had people who've been very successful that realized halfway through their meal they haven't had their enzyme and they'll take it then. And also people who have forgotten will take it at the end of the meal and they still seem to get benefit from it. Okay, but the ideal is before you ever start eating. And then the third supplement that is so important and is probably one you've already heard of is probiotics. Now, part of what happens when we're on antibiotics is not only is it killing the bad bacteria, but it's killing the good bacteria which live in your gut. Did you know like 90% of your genetic makeup is not even you? It's these bugs that live inside of your gut, this ecosystem that's within you. Like, I know that might be super gross, but it's fascinating to me, okay? So part of the problem of why the gut's not behaving the right way is you've got to restore some of the good guys back into this microbiome, back into this ecosystem, so that everything about your digestive health and really health in general normalizes again. That's why we add probiotics back in. If you're on antibiotics currently, you can still do probiotics, but they have to be taken as far away from antibiotics as you can. So if you have an antibiotic where you have to take it in the morning and at night, split the difference, like halfway through the day, you could get an antibiotic in. Wait until you're done with your antibiotic and then add your probiotics. back in at that point in time. Now, my favorite type of probiotic does not come in a bottle. Probiotics, those little good guys that live inside of those capsules, they're really sensitive to oxygen. Think about it. They live inside of the gut. There's no oxygen there. So every time you unscrew the bottle, you're exposing them to oxygen. So ultimately what that means is by the time you get to the last probiotics in that bottle, they don't have near as many good guys living in them anymore to help re-inoculate your gut as when you first started that bottle. So the probiotics I use come in individually blister packed, nitrogen sealed, like little packs. So you just pop one out at a time and take it. And so the potency from the very beginning is the same at the very end of your box of probiotics. Awesome? Cool. Now, before I get into the proven strategy for boosting your immune system so you don't have to take antibiotics again in the future, I just want to remind you to click that subscribe button and turn the notifications on. I am producing videos, publishing them every Monday through Friday, all around gut health, immune health, brain health, you name it, everything to help you achieve what I like to call total body mastery. So just remember, click that subscribe button, turn your notifications on. That way you never miss on a future episode. Awesome. What is this proven strategy for boosting your immune system? Some of it's simple, some of it you know, and some of it is brand new. Okay? So we need to adopt healthy lifestyle habits. So this is talking about sleeping 7 to 8 hours a night, or at least getting what I call quality sleep, not so much focusing on the quantity of sleep. Exercising. We need regular exercise. And if you have limited time, yes, cardio is important for us, but honestly, I'd rather you spend your time and effort with strength training. Even if it's just body weight strength training, your return on investment of time with strength training is beyond what cardio could ever do for you. And then anytime you can throw in cardio, you're going to be in a much better place because you've been strength conditioning. Part of why that's important to me is because as we get older, one of the things that does change as we get older is that our body starts to break down our muscle tissue. So as we get older, we have less lean muscle mass and more fat. Well, your muscle is your suit of armor. It is designed to carry you. And if you're losing it as you get older, huge things happen. Okay. One of the ones that is most recognized is all the aches and pains and feeling like your age kind of scenario. So do some strength training. Ladies, it is not going to bulk you up. I promise. Okay. Strength training, and then how you're eating. Like, what you put into your mouth matters. As I'm sure you basically gathered from the very first tip that I shared with you about sugar. We need to be eating real foods, the way that they were intended in nature, how God wanted us to be eating them. Like, all the processing, the refinement, the prepackaging, and if anything you're consuming comes in a package, it's been compromised in some way, shape, or form. And in America, unfortunately, our FDA does not do a great job, in my opinion, of protecting us, the consumer. There is a reason why America, still being one of the wealthier countries in the world and one of the most medically advanced in the world, is ranked anywhere from 38th to 42nd for life expectancy. We consume somewhere around 1/3 to 2/3 of the world's medication. Yet we're dying earlier and we're miserable. Like, if we're consuming that much medication, we're clearly not healthy. So we need to eat food the way that God intended it. More whole foods. This is where the Whole30 diet really has helped people, because they're eating food the way that they occur in nature. The best key I have for you with this is shopping in the perimeter of the grocery store. Don't go into the aisles unless it's the fat aisle, and only choose the healthy fats that are there, and also avoid the bakery. That's in the perimeter. But if you stay in the perimeter, that's where your produce section is. That's where your meat section is. And then you go into the one aisle where all the good fats are, and that's how you should be eating. Okay? If you start eating that way, you're going to also set up your gut for like the most integrity it can have. And that's where your immune system lives. So if you want to be resilient to infection, then you need to eat for proper gut health, because that eats for immune health. Okay? Something else that's super detrimental to the gut that needs to be worked on ongoing, because it's not changing, is stress. management. The world is full of stress, but how we respond to it and what we choose to do with it matters. Okay? We can't make stress go away. And it does have very damaging effects on the body if we allow it to. What I recommend is incorporating something every single day that helps to relieve stress. Whether it's turning the music on and dancing around, going for a walk, doing some deep breathing, meditation, exercise, it doesn't matter to me, but it needs to be done regularly so that you kick your body out of this flight or fight mode and put it into a mode where healing and repair can occur. And stress is super damaging to the gut. I mean, I'm sure you may have experienced before, like sometime when you were really nervous or really anxious about maybe it was a test or you were proposing to your future wife, or you were, getting unexpected news, like at work, maybe there was a layoff, like I don't know what it was, but I'm sure you probably noticed that the gut got involved too. Whether it's butterflies or just kind of that queasy feeling, or you ended up in the bathroom. Stress and gut health are like completely related. So to really boost your immune system and keep your gut strong, we want to really work at managing stress. So do that on a daily basis. And the last thing is really understanding where your current level of health is at. If you're currently on a medication, I'm sorry to say, but you're not actually healthy because you're requiring a medication to manage some sort of symptoms. Now, I'm not saying take yourself off of them. I didn't put you on them. I'm not taking you off of them. But we've gotten so used to like, oh, well, I have blood pressure, but I don't anymore because I took a medication for that and it's keeping it in check. So I no longer have blood pressure problems. You still do. You're just taking something that suppresses the information to tell the body that there's a problem. Or like, I'm on an antidepressant. I no longer feel depressed anymore. But if you were to come off of the antidepressant, you'd still have depression, right? Or cholesterol lowering medication. I don't have cholesterol problems. Well, why? Well, I take a medication for that. Those are symptom managers. All medications do, where they have their time and their place, but all they do is they suppress your symptoms. Symptoms are your body's warning sign that something is wrong. The only way to really understand is to be able to fully test the body and understand the information that is being given back to you. You have to find the underlying cause of the problem. So if you haven't been tested in a while, maybe start there and see what does your whole body say is going on. Okay. Ultimately, it's a lifestyle. It's not a temporary fix. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, like, what can I do right now? And we talked a lot about what's damaging to the gut and kind of an eating style that works for gut repair. But I don't want you to stress. I've got something for you down in the description below. Like, click on it so it opens up. You'll see a link. There's one specifically for a free 7-day gut repair meal plan that if you click on that, you'll have an immediate access to this 7-day gut repair meal plan. And what I put in here was your grocery list, your meal plan, and easy to follow minimal ingredient recipes that are super tasty. The meal plan was designed for people who don't have a lot of time to cook. Believe me, I don't have a lot of time to cook. So the last thing I'm going to do is expect you to cook every single meal, every single day. So there's planned overs in there. And with that, it also helps those of us who don't really enjoy cooking or just don't want to spend time in the kitchen. If you follow this plan, you will be well on your way for starting to repair your gut since being on antibiotics. So again, just look in the description below this video, click on it so it opens up, and find the link for the free 7-day gut repair meal plan, and you will be moving forward with the next bite that you take. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you. And here's to being healthy. God bless.